So, as we continue on the last subject matter for this hearing, I would like to call our committee Ms. Danica. We shall begin by briefing the forms of popular culture in the Philippines.
Good morning, Madam Chair and everyone on the committee. Now allow me to give the salient points regarding the forms of popular culture. So according to Doreen G. Fernandez in 2018, mass media is supposed to have produced the popular culture of our nation, which is the Philippines. It was not only intended for the general populace, but also for the multitudes which can be interpreted as both urban and industrialized. It pertains to the press, radio, television, and film. However, in its early time, the 20th century, it was only exclusively introduced to urban areas. The earliest kind of popular culture study in the Philippines, known as mass communication research, was on analyzing content and how it affected the target audience. To proceed in the study analysis of Doreen Fernandez, the Philippine popular culture dimensions and directions, there are several forms of popular culture in the history of the Philippines. These are mass communication research, comics, film, bakya, radio, popular magazines, popular music, and the literature of popular music.
Ms. Danica, pwede mo ba kaming bigyan ng mga further explanations regarding what mass communication research is?
Yes, Madam Chair. So let us start with mass communication research. So this is the Philippines' earliest embodiment of popular culture. It started in the Philippines during the 1960s. During those times, one of the elements influencing these is that the Filipino scholars who took their studies abroad returned with inquiries regarding the media situation in the country, as well as Mass Communication Institute of the University of the Philippines was founded. So, moreover, scholars of literature started looking at films, television, radio, and comics as modalities of fiction and drama in the 1970s. This interest was occasioned by the understanding that the mass of the people, especially the urban and rural communities, had no easy access to what could be referred to as serious literature, that is, novels, short stories, poems, and plays. Furthermore, Liwayway served as the primary platform for popular novels as they were limited outlets for short stories and poems following the imposition of martial law in 1972. So during this time, plays were infrequently published, and when they were performed, they were generally limited to only certain communities, including urban areas, colleges, and localized towns.
Allow me to speak, Madam Chair. It was interesting how these literary works were communicated to the general public. It was through the media, necessitating the examination, analysis, and assessment of the media's influence and reach. Allow me, Madam Chair, to ask questions to our committee. I would like to ask about how comics was before. Paano siya nagsimula?
Concerning comics, Antonio Velasquez, a Filipino artist, created the first Filipino comic strip, Kenkoy, in 1929. He portrayed the challenges that the Filipinos faced as they moved into urban life. As Philippine comics developed and became popular, characters from folktales, myths, and even real life were then added, such as Jezebel, Darna, Valentina, and Phantom Manok. So comics also portrayed realistic scenes of real life experiences, including suffering mothers, drunken fathers, and hardworking individuals. After the declaration of martial law in 1972, comics was used to promote government goals and agendas like the Green Revolution and family planning. Comics became an important part of the emerging Filipino popular culture due to the circulation and content of the comics that reflected societal desires, values, and challenges. Sorry, Madam Chair, you're on mute.
Okay, I'm sorry for that. So yes, as what I was saying, as we continue, I would like to ask you, Miss Danica, about the films before. Meron bang mga record stated kung ano-ano sila?
So, according to the readings, Madam Chair, Filipino movies as we see today started with Americans years later and Gross, who made the first movies regarding Jose Rizal produced in 1909. In 1919, Dalagang Bukid of Jose Nepomuceno became the first full-length Filipino feature film. Ang Aswang is the first talking picture that was produced in 1932. Moreover, there were 214 movie theaters existing by the year 1924, while 34 of them were situated in Manila. In 1939, the Philippines ranked as the fifth largest producer of sound films, boasting 345 sound cinemas and 11 movie companies. So the major studios were later replaced by independent producers in the Philippine movie industry, and some of the challenges they met included higher taxation, cost of production, little patronage from the government, and competition from foreign films. So with that, Filipino cinema remains on the rise with stars like Dolphy, Vilma Santos, and Nora Honor attaining a populist cultural symbol with about 120 films produced annually. So furthermore, Filipino films circulate longer and differently locally after the theatrical exhibition. Films move to second and third tier movie houses and then provincial theaters, and finally move to television for replay.
Lungkot nga no, na even before, the film industry wasn't able to have the support from the government. Naniniwala ako na itong uri ng industriya na to can really make a difference and significant impact if only the government supports this. But before we continue, I would like to request for a 1 minute break.